Algorithms. These algorithms that Demis put on here might be working a lot better. I don't know. We'll see. All right. I sat and I watched the thing with Laura Egram or whatever. Mean woman. Yeah, they're all mean. The cruise, whatever. She just like her. Okay, they all the same. Okay. I need y'all fighting so you're entertained by the fight so I can make more money. We professional wrestling, right? And that's how they are. And they had the thing on there where Stephen Miller would be sitting there talking, right? And he'd be saying, they interviewed this fentanyl guy who deals fentanyl from the border, and he said, "Man, I need to pay my bills, and these are my customers, right?" And then Stephen Miller says, "Well, they putting fentanyl in, and it's killing everybody in our country." It's like, why would a person who doesn't know what he's putting into the drugs put stuff in there to kill his customers? Why would you kill your customers if you need money to pay your bills? Well, there's always someone else that will buy it and kill it. Okay, yeah, I understand there's always people that want to commit suicide, and if you can give them a pill that kills them right on the spot, they'd be willing to pay money for that, Dr. Kevorkian. I understand that, okay? But do you understand, okay, that it's the laboratory and the ingredients, okay, that are the issue? And do you really think that poor people trying to pay their bills really want to decrease the surplus population to give them a better quality of life after they kill everybody in Costa Rica and then own Costa Rica, right? Yeah, like what's happening with Zelensky and Putin and their business partners in China and the United States to get rid of the surplus population, then redevelop the real estate and have them be the best real estate on the best golf courses in Central Europe, right? And so you guys got to understand, or Asia, whatever you want to call it. But the thing is, you got to understand when you're dealing with people that are quite insane, everything they do is insane. And if you have any questions about them, you'll understand that the answer to the question is in the question. So if you accept their insanity, then you look at them as being insane, and you're also quite insane. And so the answer to the question is in the question. So how to not be insane, okay, is listen to them talk and then realize you don't want to participate in their thoughts, words, and actions, right? Now, last night on the news here in El Paso on News Channel 7, they had these two young ladies that are mothers that started a group called the Sun City Strollers, okay? And they had these, and Earl's going to get real goofy here in a minute, real goofy, okay? Because they had these two mothers that go through postpartum depression, and then they showed that, and they showed that she was coming down the side, and she had a little face, and she's so cute, and she's so cute, right? She's so cute, oh my God, she's so cute, right? But for all you know, the little girl looks like the biological father, and the biological father didn't bother, okay? And he was selfish, and he's an asshole, okay? And so this young woman is sitting there raising the cutest little face in the whole world. She's so cute, a big smile, and she's so cute. And she looks just like the asshole that fucked her and left her to raise the little cute baby all by herself. And then when the little baby starts to act like the father, it's depressing, okay? And you hear voices in the head. I had a friend, Rhonda Brown. She called me up and I said, well, you call me anytime. $350 phone bill. My mom was so mad. She's like, Earl, what'd you do? Rhonda had postpartum depression. She had voices in her head to go kill Currington in the other room in the crib. And I told her, anytime you have those voices, call me and I will pay the phone bill. Okay? So Finis Dembo of the Wyoming Cowboys and the Detroit Pistons, okay, his son survived his biological mom's postpartum depression because of me, not because of a professional basketball player. Okay. I told Rhonda she was also depressed because she lost her college track scholarship because they wouldn't keep her because she got pregnant. Now, Finis, he didn't lose his scholarship for getting her pregnant, and he didn't claim the baby, and he didn't take care of her and the baby because it was back in the 1980s. And people could get away with that. If you try to come after me for child support, I'll have somebody kill you. They've been known to do that. Okay, Lavani Wooten and Gerard Mustaf, Any of you Phoenix Suns fanatics familiar with that? No? Well, then do you remember what Marcus Garvey said? Do you remember the days of slavery? People without a knowledge and a history are like a tree without root. And in freeing the slave, we ensure freedom of the free, right? Do you understand me? I talk fast because I got a lot to say and I say it well so we can all live in heaven and get out of this hell. But even in heaven, there will be people that sit there and focus on one woman and say, I'd do anything to fuck her. And if she doesn't want to be fucked by him, he would take her into the woods, rape her, and bury her to show that bitch that he should be able to fuck anybody he wants. And even when we're living the Lord's Prayer, you're still going to have those fuckers in your neighborhood. So you have to be aware. You have to listen to your parents, and you have to listen to people talk, and you have to understand what's going in their head, because there's a killer on the road. His mind is squirming like a toad. If you give this man a ride, sweet memory will die. And watch out, because Glenn Close lives next door, and your rabbit is in the pressure cooker, and she wants to fuck your husband. If she can't fuck your husband, no one gets to fuck your husband. Okay? If he can do it, she can do it too, bitch. Do you understand me? Okay? So, but when we look at postpartum depression, because we are stuck in the ways of the devil at this current situation, because we're not living the Lord's Prayer, you have to understand that the main cog and the main sprocket in postpartum depression is a mom giving birth to a child that the mom and the child are stuck in the eternal wretchedness of hell on earth because we're denied the Lord's Prayer of the perfect Father so the mother can be virtuous and raise faithful kids to the best of their abilities. Okay? Now, I can't make you be a good person like me. All right? I can't make you sit there and say, I'd do anything to bone her, Lloyd. That's a special feeling, Lloyd, right? No, it's not. All right. If you look at a woman and you think, I would like to have her as a wife. When I was a kid, I didn't even think about sex with them. I knew eventually what my dad told me that when I was a kid. He said, Earl, when you go out with a girl and they start showing interest with you, most of the time, sex isn't a question of if, it's a question of when. So you might as well be with someone that you care about before you have sex with them. But the big thing he forgot to tell me, which is the most important, you got to make sure that she is worthy of your trust. Okay? That you are trustworthy and she is worthy of your trust. That's the most important thing when you get together with a girl and lie down biblically. You sit there and you exchange, you connect body and passion. Lovers wrestle as one. Lonely man cries for love and has one. New mother picks up and suckles her newborn son. But we decide what is right and what is an illusion, right? So when you, get together and continue living through these babies, it has to be a truthful relationship based on faithful love, because manipulation destroys relationships, right? Okay, so. And when you have those situations, my mom used to do that with my son Patrick, because my ex-wife was so abused, she'd go through fits of selfish rage. And she would abuse me. And that made my mom very upset with Patrick's mother. And my mom would say, he looks just like his mother and he's acting just like his mother. And I would always say, Mom, when a 3-year-old acts like a 3-year-old, that's no problem. I can deal with it. When a 23-year-old or a 53-year-old acts like a 3-year-old, that's a problem. Okay. Then she'd give me a look, Earl, what? It's true, Mother. You're acting like a 3-year-old, Mom. You're 53 years old. You should know better. Okay, then why are you yelling at the 23-year-old when you're acting like the 3-year-old and she's acting like the 3-year-old, and the only one who has an excuse for acting like the 3-year-old is the 3-year-old, right? I'm the gracious good shepherd. I'm the man on planet Earth that's like Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John. Okay, if you don't believe that, you want to sell me a book. You want to put a camera in my bathroom, in my kitchen. You want to tell me what to eat, when to eat, who to fuck, and how to fuck, and when to fuck them. Okay? I'm the gracious good shepherd, not you. You need to get your rocket scientist ass out of my house. If I need soft surveillance to make sure someone like you doesn't try to show up on the farm, put a scope on a gun and point it at my head because you're Lee Harvey Oswald and you don't like the way I jack my Kennedy. You better straighten the fuck up or I'll knock the Robert out of your junior. Do you understand me? Okay. I ain't playing. Okay? How can you tell people not to get vaccinated if you have no intention on stopping the disgustingness of genocidal operations through philanthropy? Okay. Until that day, you're just going to have to get people vaccinated and they're just going to have roach-like brain activity assimilating to disgusting conditions by putting the disgusting conditions into their body to survive. Okay. If you don't understand what Jonas Salk and Judah Krishnamurti are saying in old videos posted on YouTube for people to do advertising for money, then just don't even bother watching them. Okay? If you don't understand how to be literate and understand a book written by Judah Krishnamurti, don't talk to me about Judah Krishnamurti while you're taking meat wrapped in plastic, hanging on a shelf, asking for fake money to keep fake people rich with their fake money. All right? David Rockefeller's video recording everything. And when someone is like Judah Krishnamurti and you think you know Judah Krishnamurti better than Judah Krishnamurti, you're going to get your ass kicked by me because I know Judah Krishnamurti. We never met. Okay? He died when I was 20 years old. But all the people with money that fuck you in the head over money with their technology knew that me and Krishnamurti are connected in spirit. And you can't separate these two. Okay? Because their prayer is perfect and their meditation is perfect. And when they pray and they meditate, they talk to each other eternally. Do you understand me? Okay, me and Haile Selassie are one. Me and Judah Krishnamurti are one. Me and D.T.Z. Suzuki and Sun Yat-sen are one. Okay. There's not a place on the planet where you can go hide from me and the other fathers that protect children from perverts with rocket science and money like you. Okay? And I hope that helps a lot of people with their postpartum depression. All right, peace out.